That's Will. What's up today, man? You ready for a good week of trading?
I am. Everyone should be aware, though, sadly, with the passing of George Bush, the president, the first George Bush, Wednesday, the markets are going to be closed. Everyone should take that into consideration when putting on a trade today.
What? Are you
Yep.
what? Does
The
that
market will
happen?
be closed on Wednesday. It is, yes. How many presidents have we had die in our professional lifetime, you think?
Uh, 15, 20? No.
I think it's only been Reagan, right?
Wow, maybe. Jesus, is Carter still alive? I thought he died 20 years ago.
No, Carter's still building homes. One of the great, most misunderstood presidents.
Did you just use the word great and Carter? Oh my God. Everybody, here's the disclaimer. Holy cow, bad advice coming.
Bad advice. What do you mean? Love Carter. What a good man.
All right, that disclaimer is just for trading purposes. If you guys are trading, just take our information with a grain of salt. You guys got to do your own research. But should we dive into this Carter thing? You're a big proponent of Carter?
Well, no, but I'm a big proponent of people who do good.
Of
I mean,
humanitarians?
should I share the screen?
No, I just want to hear your Carter theories.
I just,
I want to hear all about the great man.
he tried to do things that were good and may not have been good for the economy, may have not.
Bad for people. Dude, Stalin tried to do stuff that was good.
You're
You
right.
don't think
but
Hitler
since-
had a good purpose in mind?
Oh,
Dude.
wait. All right. You might as well turn off the broadcast. That's crazy talk. There was a FedEx worker who did some wonderful things this
What?
weekend.
Oh, gee.
See,
Wait,
see,
what is this, man?
see him folding that flag?
Yeah.
This flag was blown over. Blown
Okay.
over. He pulls around, gets out of his truck, goes and picks up that flag. Look at him pulling in. Downed flag. He runs up, fixes it, folds it up for the people
Oh my
in the
God.
proper
Will, I just
marine
gotta
folding
say,
style.
this is the lead story from Will McBride, getting us ready for our trading week, and Will's showing us a dude folding up a flag. We live in a magical.
There you go. There you go.
Magical
Look at
world.
him
That
going
this
up.
is the lead.
Fold.
Is this the lead news on CNN? That this is
No.
what's happening in the world.
This is the most trending story on YouTube. I
This
thought
is
everyone should be.
Dude, we live in a magical time, man. Our world, absolute magic, man.
It is magical. And remember,
Absolute
FedEx
magic.
was picked up on our screener. We talked about it, I don't know, last week. For its November, FedEx and UPS have outperformed historically in November. So be aware. And you know what the big news the big news of the market, which we should have started off with, is what? Can you tell me?
Well, you're telling me that it's going to be closed on Wednesday. I mean, that's big news.
The SPY, the
Why don't you
market
take away
is
my
up.
face there, man. I got half a face there.
I love that face. The market is up big in the morning. Our president today, not as good a man as Carter, but maybe a better president than Carter, actually put together a deal for the next 90 days to hold off any new tariffs with Chinese leadership down in Argentina, and the market loves this news.
Wow.
Loves this news.
Wow.
So we
So
want
this is just not that they're not going to be new tariffs. It's just they're just going to be delayed in implementing them.
well,
Or
we see that
they've taken a break.
trade war on pause, global markets soar is the first headline that appears on the Chameleon this morning.
Right.
When you look at the SPY. So I mean that's what's going on.
So wait, let me just so I understand. That's the number 2 story. The number
Excuse me.
1 story is a dude folding a flag.
Well, it's not first of all, he's not a dude. He's a retired Marine who works for FedEx, and there was a down flag on his route. He U-turns, takes time out of his day to go, pull the flag off the pole.
Wait, just so
that's
we're all
down.
understanding, time out of his day is on the American taxpayer's dime, is what I believe right there, man.
How do you figure?
He's on the clock. Oh, you're saying he's a FedEx? I thought he was a USPS guy.
All right. Well, first of all, we can't trade USPS. We can trade FedEx, which is the first thing I showed you. FedEx is up
All right, I better just
one
shut my mouth
one
because I'm going
one
down a rabbit hole. I've
one
harped on
one.
Carter. I'm talking about USPS. There's a lot of the flag. It's very. Are we on July 4th right now? What's going on right here,
Well,
man?
it's a big week. If you missed the first piece of a president died over the weekend. Wednesdays are going to be closed. We had a Marine folding a flag. This is a very patriotic week, so
Wow.
just be aware. And in all your trades you're looking, if you're looking for movement and volatility, you have one less day this week. If you're long a straddle, you just have to be aware that Wednesday is an off day now. So be
Wow.
aware of all your option positions that you're going to have one less trading day this week. That was the lead story. I thought the FedEx was a good story. Uh, someone who takes time out of their day to rescue a downed flag and fold it in the proper Marine Corps dynamics is a wonderful story and the number one trending story on YouTube,
Wow, man.
which is interesting.
Wow.
So I try to bring something.
Wow.
So when you're looking for opportunities today and the rest of this week and probably moving forward for the next 90 days is let's look at the stock screener. And what I did is I want to see stocks that are still in a bear market. So they're 20% away from their 52-week high. So let's get an indicator of what was in a full bear market prior to today.
Okay.
And so two jumped right off at me, and that was Apple and Baba. Baba's a large, it's like the Amazon of China. And that stock has been really beat up because of this trade war. And you have Apple, which is one of the FANG stocks. And these FANG stocks have basically led the market sell-off the last 3-4 months. And particularly this last month, it's down over 20%. And there was a lot of probably embedded risk in Apple based on the fact that most of their phones are made where? Do you think?
China.
In China. So both these stocks are worth a look today. I did a search for Apple in particular, and there were quite a few bullish spreads you could do in Apple with the nice cushion to the downside and some upside for the next, 18 days.
Yep.
You can, 40% return is not bad for 18 days. You're going to get some follow through in these stocks because they've, given a lot back, particularly the last month.
Mm-hmm.
Baba's
so
another one.
You're looking for a little bounce on these right now. That's your gut.
Well, you're getting a bounce in the market, so each one has a beta to the SPY, so they're going to move based on the SPY. But I think we're looking at something that has been down 20%, off its highs, and the way this structured is from market cap. So these are some big stocks. Mm-hmm. You have Facebook's in there. Actually, AT&T today. JP Morgan put a buy on AT&T and a sell on Verizon, basically saying if you're in the telecommunication, Verizon's still near its 52-week high. AT&T has sold off a lot, so that's something you could look. Actually, in their two bullish indicators have also showing it's off a bottom bounce and it's above resistance. So you can take a look at AT&T today. Netflix is another one if you want to get into the tech space. There are a lot of things to go through and screen for. Goldman Sachs has been beat up. A lot of items there that are still way off their highs. Another interesting move today is oil off this bottom. Oil is up, I think, 2% in the pre-market, the futures, and this oil ETF has really been destroyed in the last 6 months. Well, look, just back in October, it was 79.
Yeah.
It's 52 today. So look, actually, we can do a screen. Well, here's a screen just for SPY for bull call spreads. And there are a lot. I mean, Jesus, 162 entries with cushion to the downside, upside, if you believe there's going to be follow through in this market for the next 20 days, which I do. But with this, so with the bull call spread screener, I looked at screened for the bear market off its 52-week high, so 20% below its 52-week high, and you can see all the 8,500 potential entries. And the first one that pops up here is what? Schlellenberger. Can you pronounce that? I can bear. And that I know is a oil company.
Okay.
So, there's a play right here in the oil with a cushion, a return over the next 20 days. Another one, Apache, is another oil company. So all these were screened for 20% below. That's it, just to see what's available to us. And Darko Petroleum, another oil producer.
Okay.
All these oil stocks have been beaten up. So you can go through and screen each individually, mix and match. There are a lot of opportunities here. Hess is another one. Valero is another one. You can see these oil companies have just been destroyed over the past couple months. And another interesting one that's popping up to me right now as I'm looking at it is this FXI. This is a broad 25 largest Chinese companies. This follow through for 90 days is really going to benefit all these stocks that have been really beat up with this, banging of the trade war drums. The fact that it's holding off for the next 90 days, it's going to be bullish for these stocks. So screen, take a look. On the bearish side, I looked for stocks that were within 1% of their 52-week high. So these are stocks that have held up over this market sell-off, this trade war sell-off over the last couple months. So why are these stocks holding up, do you think?
Love. I would go with
love. There's a lot of the money flow, that people have been with the worry of the economy. These are stocks that people felt, we'll put our money in here. It's a safe haven with all these trade war, everything that's going on. So you can look at these stocks if you want to take a bearish play. I know
it's
a lot of money.
You got airlines in there. That's interesting. I would have thought, our dollar stores would have been in there. Those aren't, but you got Yum Brands. People eat fast food,
Well,
you just
no, yeah. Well, it's the basics, right? I mean, right. People are still going to eat their fast food, but the healthcare is one that a lot of money flowed into. But the airlines are up because the, gas prices are down.
Mm-hmm.
So right. people, so you can, there are things to go through and look. But I know a lot of money had flown into the healthcare. So
yep.
If you want to take a bearish side, this would be a place to look. Just look. Piece through these products that have held up in the last couple months and are right near their 52-week high, and you may have some money flowing out of them that could lead to a little bit of a sell-off. So
nice.
There you go. There's your bearish idea.
Nice. Lots of good stuff today, man. He brought it on a Monday. Who would have thought?
I'm trying.
Well,
who would have thought?
Who would think of that? All right. Remember, everybody, you can click down below. We've got all the links to join us on MarketChameleon.com. You can use all the data and everything that Will's using to access best data, best option, best stock data in the world. Boom, MarketChameleon.com. Are you psyched, dude?
Yes. What about our podcast? Is this a podcast too? I forget.
This is not a podcast because you can see my face.
How do people find our podcast?
I'll go wherever you get your podcast, man. Just type in options report. There we are. We will pop up. The one with the bull. The bull, man. We're always bullish.
I heard we're like number 4 in China. Trending podcast.
Dude, if we were, of course nobody listens to podcasts. They don't know the word yet. They haven't invented a word for podcasts yet. I should tell you, down here in Costa Rica, I've got my podcast down here. We took out some of our employees for lunch about a month ago, and Molly, my wife's like, "Hey guys, have you guys listened to Adam's podcast yet?" And they look at her, they're like, "Podcast?" And Molly's like, "Yeah, podcast. If you checked out the podcast, it's great. A lot of people listen to a podcast." No idea what ghost. You might as well said, "Glungle? Glungle? You watch a glungle yet?" And they're like, "What are you talking about, man?"
That's awesome.
Still is what we call an emerging market, man. A lot of white space there. But anyway, yes, if you want to check out the podcast, I'm sure our listeners know what podcasts are, so that's good. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Apple. I think most people use
everywhere.
Apple, right? Everywhere. Just look for Options Report. Will and I every morning bringing you the heat, man. What are we going to do on Wednesday? I don't know. I'm bummed out about that one. Anyway, have a great trading week, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Look for opportunities.
We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Love you guys.
No way.